Hello. So a while back, there was this thing called Bundle for Ukraine. It was a big charity that had it was basically a huge bundle of video games, and I haven't played a single one. And I bought it. They were $6 million. Look at that shit. That's amazing. That's amazing. And this is the amount of games, like Windows games, that can be played. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a number, and we're gonna pick a game. That's simple. It says that's the series. Pick a game. Pick a game. Randomly pick a game out of this pack. 288. All right, I'm gonna be scrolling for a while. 5. So we're gonna be playing home. Your game will be saved automatically at certain points. However, we recommend you put aside an hour and a half and complete home in a single sitting. Oh. Okay. Turn up the sound, turn off the lights. All I remember at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. Oh, am I actually? Oh, okay. There was something by my feet. Flashlight. Okay. Oh, I like the style. Okay, so use arrow keys. That's fucking strange. Game's old. Do you press E space? Oh, I hate that. That house. Where was I? There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't get up when I walk away from it. That was real. I'm horrified. I'm going in. I hate that. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg? I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. A thin gray mouse stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Do I free it? Yeah, free little guy. There he goes. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? I don't know. Maybe not everyone can afford a shed. You know, it's a classic. I found a picture of a couple. It looked like it'd been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Yeah, sure. It depressed smoothly into the hallway. I heard a faraway click somewhere. I can speak I can speak English. Alright, I'm going in. My confidence is already peaking now that I have just a voice in my head. The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? You know it. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. Looked like a store. Looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? Am I like the guy? Oh no. That like a pile. Oh, blood! Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Well, oh man. I had to get out of there. There's blood everywhere.
Where did this come from? Oh, gee.
A mirror. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. Oh no. I hate opening doors. The bathroom was incredibly clean. Every surface had been thoroughly wiped, and nothing seemed out of place.
That's good.
There's a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like tree tops. Oh, I can lift the light up. Look at that. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Wow. It's almost like you're directing me, game.
Jeez.
I just heard a door slam. The door was taped and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. The switch in the hall wall appeared to have unlocked the door. I don't want to walk forward.
Cake, you got this.
The box looked heavy, but there was marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Wow, that was rhyme. It rhymed there. It was crazy. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? You know it. I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? You know what? Let's climb down that ladder. My leg hurt like hell as I climbed down that ladder. The tunnel below was even darker, and the smell wasn't getting any better. But I had to get out of here and find my way home. Ooh, that's not. You don't like to see this kind of environment. Footprints in the dirt looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. It was an old map of the town. Places all over were marked. The individual area near the river, various houses, and even the small forest near our neighborhood. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos. Photos of our house! What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. A work table covered in papers and dirt, and the handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? I'm taking that gun. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Well, I got a gun now.
I don't think it's the weight of the gun that's reassuring. I think it's the fact that it's a gun.
Yeah.
Damn, good thing this gun's heavy.
Man, I love heavy guns.
I can smack someone with it, yeah.
Yeah. It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. Was this the place? The desk looked old and caked with grime. Grime. On it was a stack of old...
You.
Huh?
That's you, it's Cake.
It's me. Cake. It's me. Oh, caked. On it was a stack of old faded paper, covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out and illegible. Notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Heavy Ralph Oro. None of it made any sense to me. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Some kind of homemade rack, slung together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? Are those hooks? Rusted hooks. Like the kind you'd find in a butcher, hung from the ceiling. They look pitted and worn from heavy use. That man upstairs. Did he do this? I don't know. Maybe that guy's a victim.
Yeah. Don't just be judging like that.
Yeah,
okay?
Come on. Unbased. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. It looked like a cage? It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. This game's very ambient so far, rather than jump scares, which is good. There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. Who put them here? It was me. I did it. I wonder what would I have found if I had dug deeper. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Ah, nice. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there?
He's the murderer. He's actually the murderer, but he's got amnesia. This is just like amnesia.
Oh, I don't like the noises. Oh, bats! Oh, bats. Got amnesia. He's the murderer. I just don't remember. I remember noticing the broken letter. I had to be careful. He's saying everything like past tense. I don't remember if I jumped down there or found another way. It looked to be a long way. Did I jump down? No. Maybe there was some other way to get down. Get down there without risking any more injury to my leg. There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Yeah, sure. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. Wow! The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder more safely. Did I climb down? You know it. I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. Am I about to be like on a sea of corpses or something? A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave-in. That's alright. Oh! Oh, Reese. That, you don't want to hear that sound when you open a thing. Fucking
Was it like
big crushed ambience.
Crunch ambient?
Yeah, fucking. That was a new door. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as it pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. Taking my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least I thought I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. Man, this guy smells a lot of things.
The smell of it?
Yeah, he fucking smelled the gunpowder in it. He went just like that.
God, that's a used gun, all right.
That's a tasty gun. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. I could speak English. We don't like that. An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through here? It was so high up. Must have been a sore landing. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Alright, Reese, do I take the door or the ladder? I took the door.
Nice, good input.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I could hear a faint trickling sound, like water. What was that? The exit? Exit? Nah. Oh, nah! Fine, I'll go to the exit. Goddamn!
What was it?
There's a fucking big crushed bang noise. I'll go to the exit. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Oh no. It's gonna make me go back, Reese. Which doors? There's 4 doors. I'm gonna go around the first one. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Musty. This guy smells so many things.
Yeah, he's got like a super smell.
I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Look, we get to go back now. Everything's fine. There was no extra door. There was no extra door, Reese.
What door? What's a door? I don't know.
What's the door?
Yay!
Oh, it's not off. I have to go down the extra door, Reese. I have to go down the extra door.
What are you talking about? We don't know what doors are.
What the fuck's a door? Oh, what's this?
It's not there.
A classic valve. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yeah, you did.
And my hands are so buttery. Fuck.
I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yeah. No, you left it alone. No, you're gonna turn it.
Nah, you're not gonna touch it. This isn't our place. We're not gonna mess with things.
I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yeah, you did. Oh, shit. Reese, it's a combination. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Think about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yeah, you did. I slipped the knife in my boot because I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all of this? Probably. Turn off the water flow from in this valve. Okay, so I can't turn it back on. That tells me a lot. Oh yeah, I just hadn't turned this one off. God damn it. Alright, so now all of them are turned off and I can go into the spooky ladder water realm. What? Okay. I can no longer interact with things. So I assume I'm done. Oh, it's off, okay. Walking down the ladder, nothing bad on this ladder. There was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yes, I know where that's. I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd shaped I had no idea what it might open. I know what it opened.
Oh
The door
no,
was
what's gonna
locked.
happen?
There was a musty smell from inside. Oh, so it doesn't work. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was this facility? The door was locked. I could see a faint light from within. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. I found another dead body, a sewer worker, by the wounds all over his face and body. I figured he had been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of his pocket, sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? You know it. I take everything. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was worried he was going to grab me. A little cult symbol.
Foreshadowing. Woo.
There was a security camera in the room. There must have been the way to see what happened. Ooh, I'm gonna walk right back to that one locked door I found earlier because I like backtracking. I tried a bunch of the keys on the keyring and I had found one on that sewer worker and one of them seemed to fit. Oh nah. Oh no. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed on local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines in the forest, and in one case dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had also been pasted up back in those tunnels. A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station. It was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what use it could be, but did I keep the receipt? Yeah. I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it into my front pocket. I'm just taking things. A collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. And then there's gonna be some man's voice going like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's gonna stab me. It's scary.
Oh my god.
Reese, the steam valve went psh, and it scared the shit out of me.
Look out, King.
The steam is trying to get me. The security room. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. Was I close to the exit? I was almost anxious to leave after seeing what I had. But was there more? This must have been the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it, I've gotten past that flooded room with this. I wonder if that's foreshadowing for later. I sure hope it's not. The weight of the arsenal I had collected only aggravated the injury on my leg as I slowly climbed the ladder. Who hid all those newspaper clippings away in that lock? As I limped to the top, I found a latch I couldn't see and cracked it open with my one free hand. I pushed open the heavy lid above me and suddenly I smelled the clear scent of what seemed like a forest. Reese, you have a lot of background noise.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
I'm scraping the thing clean because I got all the egg on it. Hold on.
Classic. Ah, the outside world, Reese. The forest. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, bop, bop, bop. Walking down this fence way. Oh, an old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. I tried the little key I had fished out from the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit. I heaved open the rusty door. There we go. The wind was picking up. A bit. The night air had becoming strangely chilly. So I can't open it? Or did I just open it? Okay. It just looked very similar. I love the noise of the thing opening. The old train station was quiet. It was as quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasingly wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Oh, Breeze, I hate this. I hate all of this. The old train route map was still held in glass and was better preserved than some of the other parts of the old station. There we go. As I studied it, I recalled the makeshift map that hung in those dark tunnels I had explored. I had marked some of the areas around here. The old bus our old train. The old train was ripped open and hanging from a shred of metal, as well as the broken fence was a dark stained patch of cloth. It looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train's shell, I could see a few faint impacts, like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot here? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found, as I thought. Oh yeah. I didn't see the connection, but had the man in the house been coming here? I felt like I was missing something. Inside the crumbling old ticket booth were sheets of faded paper, ledgers and notes. I fished around for a receipt and found one. Why do I keep getting receipts? Oh, comparing it to the receipt I found in the sewers, I realized that this train yard was too old. The ticket was bought somewhere else. It must have been for the newer station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. Bats? Classic. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Yeah, sure. I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any cards or ID of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. From the railing, I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. Well, guess I gotta go back down. Well, it seemed to like be leading me back towards the sewer. The lid had fallen on the entrance there and was stuck shut. Okay, so there's gotta be a way forward. This game would be a lot more comical if every time I like stepped, it made the SpongeBob SquarePants walking noise. Wah, 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 wah. That'd be epic. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled. Blah, blah, blah. Notes on this place. Oh, it scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. There we go. That's English. Here, the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river, and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. Oh, nah. Oh, I just climbed for some bushes. Like a fucking crazy person, Reese. Oh, there's more bushes. I could go through the fence. I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. Yeah, yay! I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card? Yes, you did. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. I've seen 2 bodies. Better find my driver's license. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm and had a few embers still burned at the bottom. Ooh. 2 folding camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple cans of beer spilled on the ground. The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. There's a lot of like different ways. Jeez, I think I'm about to hit the scary part.
Okay, it's about to get spooky.
It's already spooky. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. A musty wooden plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. Plank boy.
Mission complete.
The plank world. There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there's a notebook too. Did I read it? Yeah, you did. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel? Her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Delphine and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. There we go. I almost wish I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. A dry old picnic table sat among us? Among us!
Among Us!
Yeah! A dry old picnic table sat lonely amongst the trees. It had carvings and marks from years of previous campers. As I tried to read some of the names and the marks, I idly fumbled the knife I'd found. If I wanted to, I could have carved something on that table. Did I? Yeah, I did. With a few crude strokes, I etched a simple design of the wood. R plus H. I felt like a teenager defacing the table. The plank I found was long enough to form a crude bridge, but I wasn't sure if it'd hold. Did I use it? Yeah, I did. Maurice, it was nice knowing you. Two young women were half dug into a hasty, shallow grave between the trees. The younger-looking one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserve better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? Yeah, you did. I tried to cover them up a bit more, and I closed the younger woman's eyes. I fashioned a crude marker. I wasn't sure why, but I felt I had to do something. Then I crossed back over to the other shore. I read some of the other names and notes on the table surface. Rytron, Humar, Uncle Phil, Henry, Daniel, David, Janine. Seemed like the table had seen a lot of use over the years. But there's an extra bush here. Maybe I didn't cross for this extra bush. Oh, this sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. Woo! I found it, Reese. I found it. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. The forest started to thin out a bit, and through the trees I could make out parts of the town beyond and the first hints of light. The mysteries of that forest were behind me, but I could still feel them on my neck like a warm breath. Those girls I had found, someone had taken them from their campsite and had murdered them. Was it the same person who had left that odd notebook? I was even more eager somewhere safe, find a way to reach Rachel. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Alright, Reese. Spooky door or scary hole in the fence? Alright, I went through the door.
Door. Yeah, there you go.
Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellow clippings of newspapers, cartoons, and notices. There were notes to and from the guy that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Oh, I don't like that noise. Don't like that noise. Oh, spooky. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yes. Dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yeah, you did. It was shut tight. There was a rusty looking card slot on the side. I put my credit card in there and it charged me $500. The power panel still wasn't working. Did I try again? Yeah. This was Norman's locker. Door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked here. Another panel that I hope could help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch? Great, this one was working. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Sure. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. The locker was a complete mess, hidden at the bottom. Hidden at the bottom was a magnet card. Did I take the card? Yes, you did. I slipped the card into my pocket. That was the key card. Another panel that I hope could help me get the power on. Did I push the switch? Alright, push it again. The power panel still wasn't working. Did I try it again? Yeah, that one just isn't working. Another panel that I hope could help me get the power back on. Oh, maybe they have to match up. Plug it in. Try again. Yeah, that one worked. Oh, Nice. I think I keep accidentally solving puzzles, Reese, just out of nowhere. I struck with the hammer the old wooden boards apart easily. After I had removed the planks, I left the hammer on the floor. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. Looked like somebody had holed up here. The smell of open booze bottles made me wrench. I'd given stuff up a while ago, hadn't I? Oh no, did you become an alcoholic, black out, then murder your whole family? Classic. The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the key card? Yeah, you did. I slid the card through the old reader and turned the handle. Nope. It worked. There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. I like her enough as it is, but I couldn't see another option. Did I jump in? No. If I was too chicken to jump down that broken ladder, why do it now? There had to be another way. Oh, there might not be. I guess I'm jumping down a ventilation shaft. Ugh! Oh man, my leg hurt like hell. He keeps talking about his leg. There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily, and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letter? Yeah, you did. Most of the letter was violently scratched out, and with what looked like to be a ballpoint pen? All I could make out was need to, just don't, drinking need Norman. Who's Norman writing to your mom? That room at the top of the plant, the one with all the bottles, it was really getting to me. Maybe I was just distracted. Who went up there and used that room? As I exited the factory, I didn't recognize where I was going. My head ached terribly and my leg was a mess. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license, just in the garbage. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yeah, you did. I cleaned the card off as best I could, and it looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. It sounded like it was going to start raining again. I'd entered Norman's place. It was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. It looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. I'm horrified. Well, I think I'm about to find the murderer.
And then you're gonna shoot him.
What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wonder where it led. Did I pull the chain? Nah, fuck it. I gave the chain a single tug and a simple folding. Oh, attic ladder. Classic. Oh no! I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, and one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. Face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot. Trying to get up, his eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. Did I close his eyes? Yeah. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what's going on. Luckily, I closed Norman's eyes. Damn. Norman dead as fuck. What was he watching? TV still flickered with some indecipherable channel. Reese, Norman's dead.
Not Norman.
He was my best friend. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from the 2 cups that lay in the wood. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Yeah, you did. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. I don't know why that was an option, but you know, if it gives me the option to rifle through trash, I rifle through trash.
I'm kind of like part raccoon.
Yeah, part raccoon. Norman's dead, and I'm going in his attic. Nothing I can interact with. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it? Yeah, you did. Inside the old cardboard box is a pile of clothes, photos, and even shoes. As I looked closer, I realized they were Rachel's. What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for poor Norman downstairs? Uh-oh. I wasn't entirely surprised to find this here. It was one of Rachel's old ball coats. I always wondered what happened to it. How long had it been there? Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items. I didn't think they were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit here. Did I place it back in the cabinet? Reese, do I keep the gun?
Bruh, of course you keep the gun.
Alright.
It's a gun.
The gun. Oh, I put it back. I carefully pushed keys back in place and felt the great burden had been lifted. Well, guess no gun. Well, now that I'm unarmed and I only have a knife to my name. Oh, I used a hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things, postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. The Xbox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. No! Ice cream melted.
No.
There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist trap. One of the old postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. It'd been weeks since I'd last seen Norman, and finding him that way still left me cold. Thinking of him slumping against that chair only cemented my reassurance in getting rid of that gun. It looked like someone had taken that piece from his store, but why was it in those tunnels? As I stepped outside, I recalled that dusty old box of clothes in Norman's attic. I felt like I had only discovered more questions, no answers, but I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth. Oh, is this my house? The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. The neighbor's local park box. The letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? Yeah, you did. The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. No, I was cheated on, Reese. No. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him. Norman, so don't you think you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I'm good at reading letters, and damn, bitch cheated on me left. I had wrong gate. Well, now Norman's dead as fuck, so I guess he got what he deserved. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. Well, I never did fix this gate. It was stuck. I needed to press on. There was no turning back at that point. Oh boy. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, and ragged and strained. I flickered the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remember having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or some time before? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill here. Did I open it? Yes. I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The door to the basement, it was locked. Where'd I put the damn key? I'd found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me. Reminds me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? Yeah. I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got a part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then, it was too late. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole beneath the handle.
That's the broken mirror. It's like,
Was there a broken mirror? Oh,
yeah,
look at that. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. Thanks, Reese.
You're welcome, Carrie.
Our sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps was always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? I pocketed the key. Rachel and I had shared this bookcase. Her books were mostly about travel, mine were about the area and its history. I remember going into a local shop after we moved. My wife's. Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was in it. Did I open it? Yeah, you did. Inside Rachel's suitcase were a few days worth of clothes, some personal effects, and a train ticket. As I stared at the train ticket, I could feel myself flush with anger and resentment. The date and time matched the receipt I had found. I think I murdered people.
I told you got the amnesias.
I'm going to the basement, because I think that's where this key leads. Unlock the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. Probably that old door. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through it if I found something heavy enough. I like how his third thought was just to fucking smash the wall he made. The grimy key I had found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yeah, you did. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a large hole enough to step through. The broken wall, my breath hot in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down here? Is she okay? Don't look, don't look. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within. But I knew I had to. I'd come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Oh no. My hands trembled as I pulled back the layers of cloth. There at the center, under all the dirt and mess, was my beloved, my Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn, and even through all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I'd carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened to Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about it all. I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, I exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. It was my wallet with its contact intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Mormon's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to my wallet and its content. But what does that mean? Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. Can I just leave? Can I just leave and never come back? I couldn't leave. Not until I had thought about this. More. I needed answers. I couldn't go back down, not until I'd gone over everything. I need to make sure I was perfectly clear. There would be no more dinners here. No more chit-chat or breakfast, at least not for us. It was a letter I had taken from the postbox. Were you really having an affair, Norman? But why? I didn't think things were that bad. In the letter, Rachel seemed more concerned. She almost seemed worried of what Norman might do. Did he do that to Rachel? Nah. Norman may have betrayed, but I didn't think he was capable of that. I hated him. I hated him so much, but I couldn't blame him for what happened to my wife. From now on, I have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. My old office safe sat on the floor. It was a digital passcode lock. Did I try to open it? No, that wasn't it. Damn it, I couldn't remember. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. 4 girls. Were they victims of the same person who had killed Rachel? I wonder what happened to the other names. Are the ones scratched out on that desk in those wet tunnels? Within the few broken pieces that remained of that mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper, the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. It was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through the door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the power plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Sure. It must have been him. He must have been using the old locker room. But the laptop had finally ran out of power. I didn't know what to think. I just wanted to put this whole mess behind me. It seemed I'd like seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find. But I had to take a last look. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Yes. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. Now I leave the house and never come back. I knew to escape that nightmare. But what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? I peered at the knife as I turned away. A warm place, I thought. Where could that be? Hi, Future Cake here. When I did that recording originally, I read that like hot garbage, so I'm just gonna read it now. The man in that house, was he responsible? When I woke him up, I found him dead already. It's not their fucking heart.
Man's really trying to shift the blame here.
Yeah, no matter what, I needed some kind of escape. There, that was decided. The quiet in that room unnerved me terribly. The old clawed-footed bathtub hadn't been cleaned nearly enough. Still, it would probably do. If I wanted to, I could use that knife to finally end this. The question was, did I think I deserved it? Did I? Was this my fault? Did I deserve to die? No. As painful as this all was, I didn't lay the blame on myself. So it's either suicide or leave. Well, I'm gonna have him leave. The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in that basement? I knew I needed to escape that nightmare. But what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave that house forever? Yes. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plan had helped in some way to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctor reports. Nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear, I tried to give it up. I know it. Sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was a final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. Even the man I had found in that old place was a mystery. Why he was dead, or who had done it to him, was not something I could even begin to understand. Why, for that matter, I was in that damn room to begin in the first place, and what was hidden within those sewers I had found. The tunnel to the man's house obviously led there, but was there something I had missed? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to that forest, and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought that would recover my tracks. I wouldn't be the blame for all of this. Even more troubling were those poor girls I'd found in those terrible woods, half hidden in a shallow grave. Their secret deaths seemed like the ultimate defiling. If I hadn't found them, would anyone have done so? Would they have even been missed? I vaguely recalled the desks I had seen in those tunnels, the names etched there. Someone had killed those girls. Was it that man? It was clear, at least, that Norman had been going back to the old power plant. Maybe he was the one who had boarded up that locker room, who had been drinking there in that secret hiding place. So he killed that guard then? He must have. Maybe he fought out, or the guard had caught him on patrol. Damn it, Norman, why? After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I found were more horrors and more questions. Now, did I really consider it? That's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, what were you and Rachel up to? It was obvious things were more complicated than I ever imagined. How long had he been going behind my back? More importantly, why, Norman? Whoever had killed Rachel had probably gone after you too. Maybe they knew about what you were up to. I would never know peace, Norman. But despite your transgressions, a part of me really did hope that you would. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel as disorientated as when I sleepwalked, to think of it now. Our house used to feel so lively, so warm. But coming into the kitchen, I felt only a cold, empty tension. Every terrible thought I had up to this point was suddenly a possibility, but nothing could have prepared me. My wife dead, ruined, discarded. Rachel's death was a terrible mystery to me. One that would haunt me forever, unless I did something about it. For what solace can a man take in the death of his wife? What comfort can be offered? Rachel had been taken from me, and I might never know why. As I swung open the door and stepped out into the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife. Just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run.
He did the murder.
He did the murder. He killed the man.
He did kill them. He killed all of them.
He's a killer, man. Holy fucking shit. I edited so much. 55 minutes of subtitling. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point, oh my god. Next time, well, I'm splitting this up into 2 parts. I'm not subtitling this bit. The outro doesn't subtitle anymore. That's my literal cut nowadays. This is a good time. I really enjoyed this one. It was different. We're still continuing the cursed texture pack thing pretty soon here. Thank you so much for watching and stuff. Like, subscribe. I don't think I ever say that. I'm gonna go sleep for 2 days.